Welcome everyone, this is Marjorie. Today we're going to make a fall grapevine wreath. Now I have this, I want to say it's a 14-inch grapevine wreath that I got from Hobby Lobby. And all I'm doing here is just kind of cleaning up some of the ends. They come to you and you have a lot little twigs and stuff that are kind of going everywhere, and I just like to kind of clean those up. So now I'm just taking and trying to figure out how I want to place, which side I want to place the items on. As you see, onto the right hand side of the wreath, that was a little wider than the left hand side, so it's kind of stuff I look at. Typically I save the bow for last, but what I wanted to do is make the bow for this one first and go ahead and attach that bow onto the wreath, and then kind of layer in the flowers and the other greenery to see how everything's placed. And then I've got these 250-yard 1.5-inch ribbons from Craft Outlet that I'm going to use. I make the tails about 20 inches long at the bottom, 7 inches at the top. And then I also have this really cute rust orange with a little bit of cheetah print in it. I like the different look, gives it a little bit more character, so I opted to add that in as well. And really all I'm going to do is I'm going to alternate the ribbons, and I will add a short tail and a long tail and one loop on each side. And I do 2 layers of each of the colors. Now you can definitely make your bows any way that you want to, different colors, multiple patterns, 2.5 inch and 1.5 inch. But I will say for sure, definitely use the wired ribbon. If you want something that will hold up and keep its shape, you definitely need to use wire ribbon. Now for the grapevine wreaths, I do like to use just the 1.5 inch wired ribbon. And what you saw me do just a second ago is just add an extra loop, an extra small loop for the middle. Now I'll take and carefully remove that from my bow maker and take my 22 gauge inch floral wire and wrap it around the bow and give it some good twists. Now here I'm just cutting my 1.5 inch ribbons at an angle. That's what I like to do, but on your wreath you can absolutely do whatever. If you want to do a dovetail, then that's your preference, and make your bows and ribbons, use the ribbons as you would like them. So I'm just taking the floral wire and placing it in between some of the twigs in the grapevine, and make sure I go ahead and give it some really good twists, and then I'll cut the extra off at the back. And now all I'm doing is taking my loops and my tails and fluffing out my bow and trying to make it all nice and pretty and very full. Now when you're doing a grapevine wreath, or any wreath at that fact, you can make them as full as you want to or not. So these cute little leaves are what they call pull apart leaves from Craft Outlet, and I think there's like 12 stems, and I got them in this beautiful orange, orangish red, some dark yellow. It's really pretty, and I just go ahead and place those down first, and then I will go back in with the florals that I got and add them on top. So what you see me doing is the stem is really thin, so I'm folding it over rather than cutting it to give it a little more for the glue to adhere to stick it into the wreath. And just so it'll have something a little extra to hold on to. Now, I don't think I showed you the bouquet, but I got a few bouquets of these cream colored flowers. They're sunflowers, in it, different florals in there, and it's so pretty. And I actually got them from Michael's. They were 50% off, so I thought it was a really good deal. But you'll see all the different flowers. I'm sorry, I don't even remember the name of the bushel, but I just take them and kind of spread them out. You get two really, well, excuse me, I used 2 bushes, or more or less 1.5. I used 1.5 bushes, and one really big sunflower came on each of them, which I put on either side of the bow. And then here, this like a rose, or kind of looks like a rose, but then it kind of reminds me of a peony. I'm not really sure. I'm sorry. But then I just go through and add all the different florals and stuff. And you'll see that at the end, I'll actually, after I've added the florals, then I go ahead and I add more of the orange leaves just to kind of fill in some spots. Now, I will say, I do love how the wreath came out, but I think I might have put a little too many florals in. It did kind of start taking away from the bow. But, I mean, you could tell at the end. I still think this is really pretty. The cream and the burnt orange and the browns, I think all of it turns out really nice together. Very nice fall, more of a traditional fall color combo. But this is pretty much self-explanatory, and I'm gonna go ahead and let you watch the rest of this video. And if y'all don't mind, tell me what you think in the comments, and yeah, let me know. And I thank you guys for stopping by and spending some time with me. I hope you guys have a very blessed week.